What is happening, Tug Peeps? OldManTup coming at you today with our Week 10 Season 6 team builder for the Atlanta Hawluchas and YoFizz, aka Fizzy Stardust. So, what are we looking at this week? The team we are building against is Volcanion, Mega Scizor, Salamence, Whimsicott, Rhyperior, Porygon 2, Hawlucha, Zoroark, Heliolisk, Florges, and Kecleon. Things we think he'll probably bring. Definitely Volcanion because water destroys my team. Probably Salamence, either for Intimidate or Scarf Moxie Sweep. Whimsicott because that Prankster is just too good. Maybe Rhyperior. Thinking probably Porygon 2 is going to be the physical wall with that Eviolite to stand up against the likes of Excadrill and or Heracross. Don't see Hawlucha coming. Maybe Zoroark for some shenanigans. Heliolisk could be Assault Vest if he wants to bring it to wall the Mega Pidgeot if he thinks I'm gonna bring it. Probably definitely Florges because the only thing in my team that well, I guess I have 2 resists to that with Tentacruel who pretty much walls it, and I guess we do have some, maybe not Florges, I don't know. So, Volcanion, definitely. I don't see Mega Scizor coming this week. My team stacks up really well against Mega Scizor. Rotom Heat for the win. So, we quad resist his Stab. Volcanion, Salamence. I think Whimsicott, because I think he wants to be Trixie. Porygon 2. Maybe Zoroark, maybe Heliolisk. Possibly Florges. I don't see Kecleon coming, so it's just too slow and fat for this match. But yeah, those are the things I'm going to be looking out for. So we have these hands, the Rotom Heat this week, coming with the Choice Specs Levitate, Volt Switch Thunderbolt Overheat, Hidden Power Ice. We outspeed a lot of things that aren't Scarfed and or invested. With this speed investment, we outrun Bulky Ments, which is also a possibility for him to bring this week with that Intimidate, because the Intimidate, as shown by last week's Grand Bull experience, is very important. But yeah, that allows us to outspeed his walls that aren't Scarfed if he brings a Scarf. So that is just enough speed, which is excelente. So yeah, so we are max speed, max special attack, timid, with that Volt Switch Thunderbolt Overheat and Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice in the event we come down to a point where it's going to be the best option against either Salamence or Whimsicott. It also hits Rhyperior decently compared to everything else. And everything else gets hit by our other 2 moves. So, yeah. That is why we have these hands, because he's going to be catching these hands adjusting them shades. Now we got Jade, who we are actually bringing as a bulky set this week. I know, right? Crazy. But max special defense, max HP, the leftovers in defense, Black Sludge, Liquid Ooze in the event he does bring Whimsicott with Leech Seed and or Giga Drain. Because I can see that happening and I need to stop saying be conscious of that and don't say it anymore. But we're going to run T-Spikes, Venoshock, Knockoff, and Rapid Spin. Knockoff for the Porygon 2. We can pretty much sit on Porygon 2 and wall it all day long unless he's running something funky, which I don't really see at this point. But mainly for that. We may switch back to Sludge Bomb just because we've been having so much issue getting Toxic Spikes set up and actually poisoning things. But other than that, I could use Scald this week, but it doesn't really hit very much. As I said, I don't expect him to bring Mega Scizor. I don't see Rhyperior coming because so many things on my team were just really good against it. So I don't see it being as useful this week as either the Toxic Spikes or the Knockoff. Now, looking at his team, what I expect him to bring, there isn't very much by the way of setting up Stealth Rocks. But in the event that he does bring something I don't expect, I do need the hazard removal, especially for these hands, who's probably just going to be Volt switching out like crazy. Said it again, stop it. Kruger, the Excadrill, Standard Sandrush Excadrill, 3 moves for almost perfect coverage against his team. Rock Slide, Earthquake, Iron Head. Earthquake hits Volcanion, Mega Scizor, Rhyperior, Porygon 2, Zoroark, Heliolisk, Florges, and Kecleon for super effective if not neutral damage. Rock Slide hits everything. Rock Slide and Iron Head hits everything else. Everything else. So that's why we got those. If we didn't have the Iron Head, we wouldn't be able to stand up against the Whimsicott. So you've got to be mindful of that. But we have just enough speed to outspeed... Which one was it? Not Whimsicott, because Whimsicott is Prankster. What's next fastest? Heliolisk. We have just enough speed to outspeed Max Speed Scarf Heliolisk in the sand. Now, I know what you're saying, Tup, he has Hawlucha, who's faster than that. Well, if he's going to have Hawlucha, he's going to be bringing the Unburden set, and I really don't want to have to deal with that. And if he runs the Unburden set, even if we're in the sand, we aren't going to outspeed it anyways. But I don't expect him to bring it, so yeah. So that's what we have here for Kruger, and I apologize if this team is missing something huge. My week was crazy hectic. 12 hours was 14 days straight at the point of recording this. I actually got Saturday night for my Sunday off, which is the first non-holiday I've had off in a month. Not that I'm asking for sympathy or an explanation out of why this team is just so shabby, but if I miss something, I literally built this team an hour before I was to battle him, and Juancito Marvel is jetting it right now so I can battle him at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is in about 15 minutes. So we're going to get rolling through this. So Life Orb, I might throw on leftovers at the last minute, I'm not terribly certain. Then we're going to win Winston, our Sand Setter. And this is important because if he is running a bulky Florges set, Florges has Synthesis, and it may run that over Wish, but that would just be stupid because he knows I'm going to have the Sand. But in the event that he does, we have to be ready for that. You know? Okay. I don't know why I said that. Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Slack Off. Again, near perfect coverage on his team outside of Whimsicott. Everything is hit for neutral, if not super effective damage. Yeah. Stealth Rocks, because he has no Rapid Spinner on his team. If he's going to get rid of rocks, he has to defog with either Salamence or Mega Scizor. I don't think Hawlucha gets defog, but I don't know, but I don't expect him to bring it anyways. And Showdown is going to decide to suck all of a sudden. So let's jump right back into this. I apologize, I don't have the time to reset from this point. There we go, there's Winston. But we are Impish, max HP, max special defense. Now what you're thinking, that's a little weird set. We pretty much wall all of his physical mons anyways without the defense investment. The only thing that we're probably missing a little bit on is if Salamence is Moxie, but at that point he's probably going to beat us anyways. So yeah, not really worried about that. This will allow us to take a few more special attacks from things like special attacking Zoroark. It allows us to take Ice Beams and the such from Porygon 2, and it allows us to take, I think, at least one, if not 2 Giga Drains from Whimsicott, depending on its investment. It also lets us stand up a little bit better against Special Ments in the events he's going to break. A Volcanion, I think, is always a one-hit KO with Steam Eruption if it hits. So that doesn't matter. Going into Naughty here, the Assault Vest Regenerator Tangrowth, this thing just stands up to hits from his team for days. He doesn't have, outside of Volcanion, very much access to fire moves. Could bring it on Ments, but I'm not seeing the Fire Blast being very beneficial to the overall set of his team. Nasty Plot Zoroark is a problem for this. Calm Mind Florges, we have the Poison Jab, so it's not going to take us down before we take it down. We're running the Quiet set this week because we need max special attack to Hidden Power Fire Mega Scizor and be doing more damage than Roost is roosting off. So that is the investment here, because there are very few things on my team that stand up that well against Mega Scizor, especially after a Swords Dance. This is one of them, though. And the HP fire is going to shake it out any day. So we can two-shot it before it takes us out. Most of the time. So that's why we have that investment. Earthquake, Poison Jab, Rock Slide. I might switch out something for Knockoff, just because Knockoff is going to help me a lot against his team, especially if I can knock off a Scarf on something, or that Eviolite on Porygon 2. Because if I don't get the Eviolite off Porygon 2, that thing is just bulky as crap. And I don't have a Taunter on this team. So, yeah. Next we're going to Burb the Mega Pidgeot with Hurricane, Heat Wave, Hidden Power, Ground with Roost. And again, perfect coverage against his team. I don't think there's a single Mon that takes any of these hits with all of them being neutral damage. So that's what we have here. Roost, Hurricane, Heat Wave, Hidden Power, Ground. Hidden Power, Ground, namely if he's going to be bringing the Assault Vest Heliolisk. It helps us a lot more against Rhyperior. But if he doesn't have those two things, Hurricanes for days. Because nothing else on his team resists it. I mean, Porygon 2 could probably take 2, maybe 3, depending on the investment. But switching in, we have that 30% chance for the Confusion. After 2, that's really good odds for us that we are going to confuse it. Not that I want to bank on the Confusion, but explanation for things. Plus, we can Roost in his face if it has Ice Beam and or Thunderbolt. So alright guys, this has been our setup for Yofizz and the Atlanta Hawluchas. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But anyways guys, it's been OldManTup, and we will catch you on the flip side. We're jumping into that battle. Peace.